Hi there, if you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in this. This is the FeiyuTech Vimble 2A. What's so special about this gimbal? Well, I've compared it with the Inky Falcon Plus. I own both of these gimbals. I'm not sponsored. I bought these with my own money, and I even modified this gimbal to make it a little better. So if you own one of these, you're going to want to watch this. So if all of that interests you, keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So what am I talking about today? Well, let's go to the downward shot and take a better look at these gimbals. So this is the Inky Falcon Plus. And I did a review on this, so if you haven't seen that, then check out that video, because I talk about this with a Z-axis stabilizer. It was a very interesting video, and I think you'll like it. This is the FeiyuTech Vimble 2A, and as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than the Inky Falcon Plus. It uses micro USB charging instead of USB-C charging. This one's $150. And I only paid $50 for this one. Let's go to the computer and take a look at it. I'm going to go back down to the, let's check it out and see what it looks like. So this is what you get. You get the carrying case, you get some connectors, you get a tripod, and here is the how to install the camera video, and you're going to want to see this. So the way they've got it is so that the camera, the GoPro, goes in upside down, actually, if you look at that. And then you have to flip the camera over digitally so that your picture is right side up. It's not compatible with the DJI Osmo Action cameras, and neither is the Falcon Plus, so you can't control the recording or the stopping or anything from the gimbal itself, which kind of sucks, but that's the way it is. So this particular gimbal, $50 versus $150, and is currently unavailable by the way right now on Amazon. It was averaging $74 and it's gone as high as $229. Go figure. This one at $150 never even came with a case. But they're very different in the way you mount the cameras. And I also made a modification to this one that you're going to want to see. So this particular one, you take I put the DJI magnetic mount on here. And if I take my DJI Osmo Action 4, I can clip it right to the gimbal itself. And then I just turn it on and we're ready to go. None of the access points lock on this one. They do on this one, but I found it to be a pain in the butt because I turned it on and they were locked, and I was worried I was going to ruin the motors. And you'll see that in the video footage because I have upcoming footage, so don't worry, there's upcoming footage of me actually using it out in the, I took it out to the park, so if we're not just talking about it, you're going to see some footage of this actually being used. One of the biggest differences between the two is this has an extension. So you can actually get a little bit of an extension and longer shots and that sort of thing. But the main difference is the way you mount the camera, because this one holds it in a different fashion. But I made some changes to it. I'm going to show you what I did. If you look at this part here, it's different than how they did it in the video. So instead of the screws going through the back of this little slot here, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit with my Makos camera. Let me just grab my remote here. So if you look there, you'll see these little slots. That's actually where these little screws here go through. They go through the slot, and then they go through there, and then they hold the camera. This little felt piece isn't even a part of it. I added that. Now, I'm going to back up the camera a bit so you can see. You see this here? That's an O-ring, okay? And they're usually used, you can get those at the hardware store for like 10 cents. They're not expensive. So I put an O-ring with some zip ties, and I mounted that to this part of the gimbal. And then I just put the other part through here, and then I put some zip ties right there. So this way, it allows it to stretch. So if I pull on it, it stretches. Not easily though, because I didn't want it to be an easy stretch. I wanted it to hold the camera tightly. Now, why did I do this? Well, I didn't want to have to mount my action camera upside down. Why are they doing it upside down? Because of the power button. The power button is right here. And it would be against this part where you can't access it. So by having this designed like I did and making this modification, I can simply go like this. I can lift this up and I can put it in like so. And here we go. Squish it in like that, and the camera's mounted. Instead of having to take out all these screws, put it in, screw them back in, and I put the felt on there to keep the glass from scratching and to protect the lens. So if I took it off without the lens, then I can put it on there. And it works. Now I noticed that you still have to fuss around with it a little bit, because if you don't, the gimbal will kind of be out of balance. And that's the issue with this versus this. One of the things I like about this is you can balance it. It has that option. This doesn't. You either put the camera in or you don't. And the same thing is with the Hohem gimbal. The Hohem gimbal is a very similar design to this. So what happens if you turn it on? Well, let me just switch over to another camera here, and we're going to fade into that. Now I've got to make sure that this is unlocked, because I've made the mistake of not unlocking it before, and all of these have to be in the unlocked position before you turn it on, because I'm pretty sure it hurts the motors. So let's just turn it on and see what we've got. And there we go. So it's not making any weird noises, and it is functioning just fine, as you can see. And I'm going to go back to the downward shot here. So there's the downward shot with me in it, and there it is there. And then I'm going to put it back on me again on the other shot, and I'll put the camera up here, and there it is there. So as you can see, the way I've changed the mount, it is perfectly fine. Now, if you don't get it just right though, you'll feel a vibration. So if your gimbal is vibrating, then that's a bad sign. It means it's out of balance. And it could be just a few little adjustments. Maybe it's not close enough to this part. These type of mounts, you have to literally move the camera up and down and shift the weight around a little bit to get it just so that it's perfectly fine. And then, but it's got this nice extension, see? It's got a lot of features. I can go into selfie mode if I go 3 clicks like that. Oh, maybe. There we go. And then I can maneuver it around like that. So it can actually act much in the same way a DJI Pocket 3. So I'm going to power it off. I'm going to put it back. And this particular one here does the same thing. They have a lot of similar features. The main thing that really attracted me to it, well, the price was one big issue. $50, how could you possibly go wrong? And the other thing was the telescopic handle. I really like that. I thought I could find a creative use for some shots for that. So if we go to this is my auxiliary camera view. you can see, you know, this one's made of metal, and this one is all plastic. Okay, so a little bit better quality on this side than this side, and I'm sure the motors on this one are a lot stronger. So I did notice that on the Vimble 2A, some of the motors would get a little bit warm, and that probably means that they're compensating for a lot of the imbalances in the camera. But performance-wise, it did really well. There was a couple of times where it did a little bit of wonkiness, but it could have been because I was kind of jerking it around a little bit too fast, and I was expecting more of it than I should. It is, after all, an entry-level action camera gimbal. So we're going to go to that footage where I show you, what the gimbal can do and, what it looks like. And then we're going to come back for my overall thoughts on what I think. And I want you to take a look at the footage of it with the Rocksteady on versus no Rocksteady. And I want to discuss the whole why put an action camera on a gimbal to begin with, because a lot of people keep asking, you don't really need that. So let's go to that right now, and then we'll come back.
Why am I obsessed with these gimbals? Well, I guess I really like image stabilization. By the way, I'm looking into the DJI Action 3, Rocksteady on, no gimbal. So if you wanted to know what that looks like, well, now you know. So, what have we got today? And by the way, we're not using any mic, because I forgot one. We're just doing a unsponsored, by the way, view of this gimbal. This is already been connected to my DJI Action 4. Gonna just put it on the little tripod. And if you look over here, you see those little O-rings right there? I don't know if you can quite see them. Not mounted in the standard mount that it comes with. And the reason why is in order to put it on so that the lens is on that side, this side here where my thumb is at, then you have no choice but to unscrew these little screws here, and then you've got to keep screwing them back in through the plate through those little tiny holes right there. You see the little tiny holes? See if I can get the lighting right. Filming outside is kind of a challenge. So what I did is I put these little O-rings on, and I put some twist tie, or not twist ties, zip ties. And if you look, I also put some felt on the side there. And if I pull up, see if I pull up, now it's stretchy. It's kind of the same principle as the whole hum gimbal, where this kind of thing is on like an elastic, but I kind of made it myself. So with two 10-cent O-rings, you can do that yourself. So I'm going to be testing it out with the Action 4 to see the stability and see if it improves things. We'll do it with Rocksteady on and off. I'm going to transfer this camera to the neck mount because I got the Tellus neck mount. Okay. And there we go. So now we're going to power it up and see if it works. Oh, hang on. I did something wrong. I forgot to unlock it. I do this all the time with this one. So it's got a locking mechanism here. Don't forget to unlock it. I don't even know if I'm breaking the thing by doing that. Okay, so first thing you got to do is unlock it. Then take off the lens cap, of course. And put that away. And then you can power it on. But yeah, let's make sure we get that powered on. It should turn on by itself. There we go. And we're working. And if I hit record, because the power button's on this side, the only way to turn it on and off is either take it out of the camera, and that's the other reason why I made this stretchy O-ring thing, is so if I wanted to power it on and leave it on and control it that way, I could. But instead, I'm just going to activate the power and the record function by hitting the, so if you hit the record button, it automatically powered on, but as soon as you stop recording, it also powers it off. And I'm going to center it out. Now, why did I get this gimbal here? Because I already have the Inky Falcon, and that's also a very good gimbal. Well, this one has I wanted to give an example of the fact that the other one you have to balance and this one you don't. But camera gimbals that you don't have to balance are going to get a lot warmer in this area here. And I found that it already does get a little bit warmer in that area because it's fighting more of the balance issue. The other reason why I got this gimbal is because you can do this. You can extend it, and you can't do that with the Inky Falcon. So if I want to get some low shots like this, really low shots, I can get those shots. And so let's test it out. And I've got it on 4K 60 rock steady, and we'll just test it out to see. And I'm just going to walk normal, not going to walk especially bad or anything like that. The ground is uneven, and where gimbals come in handy is in low light. I'll walk towards my bicycle. By the way, I changed a lot of things on this bicycle. I bought this bicycle at Costco. So I bought this bicycle at Costco. I changed the front forks. I changed the pedals. And I put on these fenders, and I also put on the, the accessories and turn signals and that sort of thing. So I kind of like this gimbal it's very simple to use. If I go down low, I can get really low shots, and I can walk around like that. You get some reveal shot. I find it to be very smooth. It's a very smooth gimbal. Now, the other thing that I did wrong today was I forgot my ND filters, because I do have some. I have some for my Pocket 3, and I recently acquired some for my action cameras as well. So I didn't think it was going to be that sunny today because it called for rain, actually. And we're just going to go into selfie mode. So now I'm going to use the other camera to look at me. So now if I go and I hit the screen, I can put myself in frame. You can kind of use this one like a DJI Osmo Pocket. I'm going to be using the audio from the Action 3 though, because it's closest to my neck. So, but I'm going to be shutting off this camera. I have to take it out, and then I have to take off the image stabilization to show you what it looks like without that. And then I'm going to put it in the camera without image stabilization to show you what that looks like. So we have a few things to do. So let's get on that, and we'll see you in a few minutes. It looks like the dynamic range, it's a little messed up as soon as you get the sun in the wrong place. So anyways, be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to shut the camera off on this one. This one here is going to keep rolling. So let's just show you how I get the camera out of here. Oops. I better power this off first. There we go. All right. Always turn your gimbal off before you start making any adjustments to it. Okay. So now I'm going to point this down so we can kind of see what we're doing. Actually, I'll take that. There we go. Okay, so I got to get this camera out of here and change the setting. All right. So if you can hear me. Well, this is why I put the felt on it. You can also put the protective lens cap back on if that's what you have to do. So I'm going to just power the camera on this way. And then I'm going to go into the settings. Actually, I'm going to change it to 4K 24 for this one. And then I will take Rocksteady. That's Rocksteady. And this is Rocksteady off. Okay. So Rocksteady is now off. And we're going to be in 4K 24. Okay. So no gimbal. No gimbal. I'm holding the camera handheld. I'm going to show you the video footage from that. And as you can see, it's probably going to be very, very shaky. The shakiness on that. All right. And then we will take the settings and I'm going to stop the video. We'll go to Rocksteady. Rocksteady. Got Rocksteady Plus. Okay. All right. This is just with regular Rocksteady. You're going to have to forgive a lot of the noises. I will try to get rid of some of those in post. So this is with Rocksteady. We'll go this way. Okay, so it does offer stabilization, as you can see. And of course, that's what I have on the DJI Action 3 as well. This is Rocksteady. Rocksteady Plus will crop it in more, but it will add more stability. Okay, we got to put this thing back in. Before we do, I'm going to turn the Rocksteady off and then put it in the gimbal. Okay. Alright, so now we got to go and Rocksteady off. Okay, I'm going to put this in the gimbal. It's delicate. Put this in like so. Oh, hang on. Make sure I didn't change nothing. There we go. And here. Okay. So this one here. Okay. All right. So we are going to hit record. And I will turn the gimbal on. There we go. Gimbal is now on. Oh, hang on a second. Something's not right. If you feel a little bit of vibration in your gimbal, that means that there's something out of balance, too much. So we're recording in regular. So this isn't with Rocksteady. There's no Rocksteady, sorry. This is just regular mode. The gimbal is doing all the stabilization. So the gimbal's doing all the stabilization. And there is no Rocksteady on at all. So we can do the comparison of all the different shots. So in a low light situation, Rocksteady falls apart. And it falls apart on your GoPros too. I'm going to extend it. Oops. And show you the extended where you can get down to the low ends and the stability on that. And you can position it with the thumb trigger, see? So if you want to get some interesting shots that way. Oh, and you want to fix that. So if you get into a spot where you're in a jam, just double press the trigger and it'll recenter the gimbal. Okay, we'll go that way. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just click on it twice. Hang on, we'll go around 2 times. There we go. Okay, so looks like we might be in vertical mode. I don't know how we got into there, but everything seems to be sideways. Anyways, we'll see what that footage looks like and see how badly I messed it up. And we'll go this way. And there's the comparison between the two. So we'll go back and forth. Anyways, this is it. This is what it looks like. And you know, the advantage of this over a cell phone gimbal is you've got the screen where you can see yourself. So you can frame your shot. You can also get ND filters too, a lot easier. So would I pick an action camera over a cell phone? Well, in certain situations, yeah, bad weather. Some of these gimbals are waterproof. So you can shoot in the rain. If you live in places like London, England, or Vancouver, where it rains all the time, you can do that. Anyways, that's it. Actually, I'll see you back in the studio, and we'll edit this and see how it turns out.
Okay, we're back. So, do you really need to put an action camera on a gimbal? Because I did show you some footage of an action camera with no stabilization. I was holding it in my hand, and then I was showing you some with the Rocksteady on. It was pretty good. And then I showed you some footage with the gimbal and no Rocksteady. So the gimbal was doing all of the stabilization. And I explained that when the sun goes down, electronic image stabilization, or EIS, no longer functions because it needs light for it to function. If it's not a well lit enough room, it can't do its thing. It doesn't know enough about the image to know how to stabilize the image because it's using an algorithm to do that. So, which gimbal do I like more? Well, I like them both, but for different reasons. I don't like the mounting system, except the way I modified it on this one, because it's a little awkward. And because I put the magnetic mount, a lot of people complain about this one and its mounting system, but with the magnetic mount, it's not a big deal at all. You just clip it on and you go. Once it's balanced, it's balanced. So, and you know, I can demonstrate just how fast that is when I take out this one. I'm going to pop out that one and see how fast that was without having to unscrew all of that. And I'm going to click this one on, and we will power this one up, and there you go. This one is a lot quieter too. It's just a lot better quality. And if I click it 3 times, hang on, or maybe I got to click this 3 times. Oh, there we go. You got to click it 3 times slowly. And yeah, it functions just fine. It's a very nice gimbal. If I click that, it goes back. They have very similar functionality. If I hold down the trigger on this one, it'll lock it in place. And this is their top of the line model. This is the Plus. It can handle heavier payloads. And as you can see, all I had to do was clip it on there. So everyone who says it's a pain in the butt, well, maybe if you're mounting a GoPro, but even if you had a GoPro 12, I did a video on a magnetic clip that converts it to DJI mount. Do that first, then put it on here. GoPro will work. As a matter of fact, I'd be jealous of you because this one can't record or anything or control any of the other functions on this camera any more than that one can. That's the other thing I don't like about either of them. I can't hit record on here and then hit record on there. So I can only use part of the gimbal. The FeiyuTech app, by the way, everyone says that the app for this one's bad. Well, at least the app will work the gimbal. The app doesn't even work the gimbal on that one. I tried it. It won't move it around or anything. Don't know why, but it doesn't. But at 50 bucks, I'm not complaining. So I like this one a little bit better. It feels a little more premium. Yes, you have to balance it, but it does feel a little better quality. And I would use it for a lot of my shots. If I had a situation where I needed two gimbals, I would bring this one along, no problem. I might even be looking for a third action camera gimbal. Don't ask me why, but I'm a creative person and I might have a spot for it. Also, people have been talking a lot of smack, and I want to see for myself if what they're saying is true or not. I buy this stuff with my own money. I'm not sponsored. Nobody sent me this stuff for free. I bought it. So if I tell you something's good, I'm invested in it myself. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the footage. I certainly hope you like the modification that I did to this to improve it, because I'm kind of happy with it myself. Not only can I hold the DJI cameras, but you could probably, I think I put the Acaso in here too, and it'll hold the Acaso as well. So if you have any other improvements that you think are even better, let me know in the comments. It's not just me teaching you, it's us learning from each other. I want to learn from other people just like I want to show them what I've learned. That's what YouTube is supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be about infomercials or getting stuff for free or having people sponsor a video where it's more like an infomercial, because that's all they really are. And anyways, I've rambled on enough about that. But so take care of yourself, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.